NAMM 2020. I'm here at the stage of UDO at the booth. George is again here. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm just about surviving my jet lag and my having to shout over this amazing cacophony of noise going on here. It's overwhelming. It's really nice. It's overwhelming.
For me, it feels like we met us like 2 months ago, but it's
Yeah.
longer.
It was longer. Yeah, it's probably 6-7 months.
The Super Booth was in May, and we are
Yeah.
already now in January for NAMM already. And your synth is becoming quite finished,
Yeah.
nearly finished.
These are production models. You can see they've been produced to sort of the full engineering process. Everything's here. Sound-wise, everything's working. All of the features are now enabled. We're missing one or two things which we're just polishing off at the moment. But generally speaking, we are almost there. And I can tell you that the last 6 months have been very, very, very tough. Very, very good, rewarding, but it's been long, lots of hard work. We tried to be as diligent as possible. It's our first product here under our own label, despite me sort of developing things for other people before. So it's very important that the people that support us really get something that's solid. And we've been burning the candle at, well, if there was more than two ends, we were burning it at all of them. It's just melting in our hands, basically, to use an analogy.
My questions will be: how difficult is it for a synth company like you? It's UDO is a new company.
Yes.
How difficult is this stage now from Super Booth? We saw there a prototype.
Yeah.
More like a prototype, and now
Yeah.
quite a finished version. So,
Yeah.
what was the biggest part, or the difficult part of it?
I think this is a really common recurring theme in engineering and sort of producing engineering products, even sort of outside of the musical artistic sphere, is to sort of underestimate the huge gulf of work that goes in between a kind of prototype and a production unit. It's sort of one thing to make something that's sort of a one-off or a two-off or a 10-off even, but when you start producing them in kind of hundreds, sort of, etc., there's a lot to do. There's a long way to go, basically.
I can imagine that's quite a heavy step for so young company, because other companies are, say, Arturia, Roland, Casio, Korg. They know what they're doing. They make and then it's done.
Yeah,
For you,
well,
it's
Fortunately for us, I have a sort of history of getting products to market. But even still, even I have managed to sort of, not sort of fully appreciate. You have a conspiracy of optimism. You've got a team of people around you. You're like, we're going to do this. But actually, you have to put in place systems and processes. You have to be diligent. You have to think about your product certification, your manufacturing, your compliance, your supply chain management, your office back-end management, and all of the various, we're developing new systems, of course, to sort of be capable of making what is effectively a complex engineering product. And I think that, like, musical instruments and sort of, there is some wonderful, amazing engineering here under the roof that we're under. And sometimes I think that like a lot of these instruments, these manufacturers don't get the credit they deserve for the engineering that's gone into it. These are sophisticated products, and they need sophisticated company systems behind them to be able to produce them reliably and en masse. So yeah, it's been a lot of time establishing that kind of infrastructure that's necessary. However, now we have the infrastructure, the supply chain, we have the experience, the tools, the materials, the people, the development team. What are we going to do next?
a desktop version.
Well, yeah, I mean, we have the structures now, so we are going to get this out and put this in people's hands. The people that have supported us, sort of by kind of getting, pre-ordering this from dealers around the world. Obviously we are yet to sort of start shipping these out ourselves, but we want to be following this up with further products as well.
And
our sole focus is on the Super 6, but we will be following up.
How many people are you in UDO working?
It's basically a sort of core group, a small core group, and then a wider group of consultants and supporters. So I know you did an interview with us and Axel Hartmann as well, and his company Designbox support us. We have a manufacturing in Germany with Rufel and Frank Rufel and his group. We have our core team is about 5 people. So that's sort of graphic design, engineering, which is myself, software, also marketing. and then we sort of pull in resources as we need them.
I heard that your synth is built at the same place where the world of Quantum and all these flagships are built. Yeah.
Access Virus, Waldorf, Quantum, the John Bowen Solaris over there, and various others, all sort of built in the same factory. Yeah, I mean it's fantastic workmanship, and we're very happy to have ours built alongside them. So, for a small company like us, it's been vital to make partnerships. You know, we have had to collaborate. Although, you know, sort of I have some background in the industry for sure, and sort of related industries, you know, embedded in a synthesizer like this and a product like this is a lot of people's experience and a lot of people's hard work, and it's not just us. UDO, obviously, it's our vision, it's our instrument, it's our sound, but the engineering, the design, the manufacturing, you know, there are a group of global experts sort of assisting us, basically.
In our chat, which you can find on the channel from Super Booth, you told me you was part of Modular Electronics, and now you are doing the UDO. So
I haven't been involved with Modal for quite a while, but I was involved with them for some time on an instrument they made called the 008, going back as far as 2015, 2016.
Is this something you said it gives you a lot of experience for this unit now?
It's certainly the industry experience, yeah, for sure. But the engineering experience comes from working in other industries, medical devices, aerospace. I've been making technical products for many, many years. So yeah, certainly that gave me good exposure to the music industry in terms of engineering, but the engineering experience embedded in this has, come from my last career, basically, which I ditched to do music, which hopefully I won't live to regret.
So the first units are already at the sound designers, or are you not yet at that stage?
We've got units now. We've done our first low-rate initial production, and we've got a whole set of instruments now globally with a network of testers and sound designers who are basically putting the things through its paces. People are gigging with the instrument, and we have a communications channel which is effectively allowing us to basically really, really test this thing to death before we get it out. And so we're basically gathering the information, making the final changes, and then production has started. So we are receiving the first units.
Are you giving guidelines to the sound designers? You should go in this direction with sounds, or are they freely what they do with the synth?
At the moment, it's kind of nebulous. And I think what we do is we'll build up our strategy as we get more and more kind of information. We'll hone it down and sort of distill it down into the instrument. But look, it's so easy to upload and download patches to this thing, and also waveforms and wave shapes, so that we hope to sort of, like, even after we've kind of, you know, put the instrument in people's hands, we keep following up with new sound banks and patches and that kind of thing.
From my experience, some instruments doesn't receive that this intention they should receive, because the sounds they are included, they give another dimension. Like, there are many vintage sounds inside, and then people say, hey, it's a vintage sounding synth, but a synth can do tons of other sounds. Are you fear that all these sounds you get from the sound designers are more vintage oriented, or?
I must admit, I mean, an instrument like this does allow you to sort of push the boundaries of a lot of areas, and certainly I want the sounds to demonstrate the new stuff that something like this can do, and to really sort of push the boundaries. But certainly, I think I have a tendency to go to an instrument like that, go to the comfortable area that I know and understand. So we want to sort of try and push that a little bit, and sort of really get some noises out of this thing where people are really working it hard. But you know, like I say, we start large, we funnel it down, and we see what we get to. So hopefully the factory sound bank that goes out will demonstrate the width and breadth of what an instrument can do.
I'm quite interested to hear this factory sound library, because if they tend to more to basic synth sounds or more, so I'm quite interested to hear the final results of it.
Yeah, you and me both. They're still coming in.
I'm pretty sure you will extend this library in the next years or month.
And it's so easy to come up with patches while you're playing and creating that I'm hoping I can do a little special George bank for people at some point. Maybe I get the privilege, maybe I don't. I don't know.
How would this sound, a George bank?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably quite in your face. I don't know. Well, I don't know.
More classic or more experimental?
I like big, wide, sweeping, emotive sounds. I like kind of science fiction sort of influenced stuff. I also like really punchy, plucky, snappy sounds. So I like a kind of mix of like sci-fi, ethereal, swooping chords and kind of stabby, punchy, plucky, percussive stuff. And I think for me that's like music that I produce, that's sort of the staple type of sounds I use. So yeah, I'd stay well away from the classics. I think it's all like, yeah, hopefully quite fresh. We'll see whether I actually get the privilege of being able to do that. I'm not quite sure. It might not actually be up to me in the end, believe it or not.
Interesting is interesting. I'm looking forward to hear your sounds, especially your sounds.
Oh well, I hope I get the chance.
A little talk from the Super booth now to NAMM. The unit is now working completely.
Yes, yeah. I think we've got one or two major features. I think the sequencer is not there on this unit we've got. Other than that, all of the sort of sound modeling, sound shaping, effects, various special capabilities of the synth are demoable.
So, can we get a fresh sound demo, maybe with the new features that we doesn't hear at Super booth?
Yeah, okay, sure. I think what I'll show you then in that case, I'll mess around with some audio rate looping envelopes, which is quite an interesting oddity. They're quite useful. LFOs used as oscillators and some of the complex waveform shapes as well, and see where it takes us.
Okay. Before we watch George playing this wonderful instrument, when will it be available, or is it ready for?
So we've started production. These things are in production now. We hope that they're going to take a while to filter out to the various dealers around the world, but we should hope most dealers should get this instrument within a couple of months.
Price point is still the same from Super booth?
It's the same. 2295 UK street price, including VAT. 2,500 euros, including European sales tax, whatever you guys call it here. $2,800 US.
Okay, thank you, George. And now we're enjoying some interesting sounds from George.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh,